master it. If you do, awesome. But if not, again, it takes practice outside of the classroom too. So make sure that you're also practicing this. Okay, so again, the first one is only going to have the first term. It technically has both, but again, the second term is to the 0 power, so we don't include it. Then we have the first and second term. So we're going to have x and 2. We're going to put a little plus between these. X and 2, x and 2, and then x and 2. Oh, sorry. We don't need the x here. Okay, so then we're going to focus on our exponents. So we're going to start on the very left. We're going to go in descending order, so it's going to go 4 for the x. Again, we know that it's going to be to the 4th power because, again, we're expanding this to the 4th power. So it's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lastly it would be 0, but again, we just exclude it. Then for 2, again, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be to the 4th power because, again, we're expanding this to the 4th power, so it's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, right? Okay. So now that we have all of our exponents, now we can go ahead and expand this by multiplying. So 1 times x to the 4th power is just x to the 4th. 2 times 4 is just 8, so 8 times x to the 3rd. Then you have 2 squared, which is 4 times 6, which is 24, so 24x squared. Then you have 4 times 2 to the 3rd, which is 8, which is 32 times x. And then you have 2 to the 4th power, which is 16, I believe. 2, 4, 8, 16, yeah. And that would be your answer. That's it. Okay. Okay, so for the next one, it is a little more difficult because we will have to put numbers in our calculator, unless you can do a lot of calculations in your head. Okay, so this one, again, we're going to do the first term. So it's going to be, okay, hopefully I memorized it. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Okay. So again, I spent about 5 minutes memorizing this, so hopefully you can spend a little more than that. Something to note is that as you memorize these, you really only have to memorize half of this. So, okay, so this is going to be the first term. It's going to be first term and second term. I definitely didn't leave myself enough space. Okay, 2x, -3, and then just -3. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to leave myself a little more space next time. Okay, so again, we're going to focus on the first term and just the first term. So again, we know it's going to be to the 5th power, and then it's going to be to the 4th power, and then the 3rd power, and then the 2nd power, and then the 1st power, and then 0. Okay. The second term is going to be from the, again, it's going to be from the 5th power, 4th power, 3rd power, 2nd power, 1st power. Okay, so then you have 2 to the 5th power, which is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So then you have 32. Make sure that you're also raising x to the 5th power, so it would be x to the 5th plus 225 plus 15 is 240. Okay, second thing, is the second term 240? I just multiplied in my head, so I'm not too sure. Okay. Let's use a calculator here. So the second one would be 2 to the 4th power, which is 16 times 5 times 3. So that would be 15 times 16, which is indeed 240. You have to be careful here because there is one negative. So it would be negative 240 x to the 4th. The second thing would be 10 times 3 squared, which is 9. So again, this is the negative 3, but it's squared, so it becomes positive 9 times 8, which is 72. So 72 times 10 is 720, x to the 3rd. Then we have negative 3 to the 3rd power, which is 27 times 4. So that would be 54 and then 108. So 27 times 4 is 108 times 10, which is, oh, sorry. Once again, we have to be careful here. It should be 108 times 10, which is 1,080. And then since it's to the negative to the 3rd power, it is a negative here, and then x squared. Okay, so this would be 3 to the 4th power, which is 81. And it looks like we can't do this in our head, but again, we want powers of, oh, whoops, that is not what you want to see. So again, this is powers of 10. So we could just do 5 times 2, which is 10 times 81, which would be plus 810x. And then 3 to the 5th power is 81 times 3, which is negative 243, I think, right? Yeah. Okay. So if you got this, great job. If you didn't, that's okay. This one is a lot more difficult. This one had a lot more, I'd say, nooks and crannies here. Okay, any questions? Any questions here?